A few hours. Just the one time.
Call to order the regular city council meeting. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Move down to item number 3, roll call.
Naomi Hogue.
Here.
Jeremy Barnett.
Here.
Daniel Beatty.
Here.
Joshua Wilburn.
Here.
Donald Veith.
Here.
Alrighty. Item number 4, general city council comments. The Coweta Casino Hotel opened today, so I was at that. It was an awesome event, beautiful facility. If you get a chance, check it out. It's warming up, so be weather aware, but also be cautious of children out playing because it's that time of the year. Everybody's getting outside. Any other comments from the council? Okay. We'll move down to item number 5, city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. First, I'd like to go through the new hires since our last meeting. Dustin Grimm, Streets Maintenance Worker, Erica Lanson, Animal Control Officer, Calissa French, Utility Billing Clerk, William Elliott, Police Officer Trainee, and Christopher McHenry, Communications Manager. Next, I wanted to let you know that the police station building pad is complete and footings for the building are ready to be poured. The fire station site is being worked on to remove trees and foundation from the buildings that were there originally. Equipment's being moved in from the police station so they can begin the dirt work at that location. On the 121st Street Bridge, we did come to voluntary agreements with all the property owners involved. And the next step is for us to to relocate any utilities that are in the right of way. Once that schedule has been established, we will go out for bids and then proceed to construction. It's a fairly simple design. It's basically 2 box culverts, so it should be a pretty quick construction timeline. On 257th East Avenue, also known as Midway Road, we've encountered multiple leaks from Rural Water 4 that have delayed the project. The contractor had to stop work, and they will come back once the repairs are complete and the ground has dried out enough to begin working again. The dredging project at the water treatment plant is mostly complete on dredging the reservoir. They're working well ahead of schedule, and we expect that work to be done in May or June. On the Skyview Water Tower project, they've completed the sandblasting and they're working on the piping for the mixing system. And we expect painting to begin soon. That project should be complete by April 1st. On the wastewater plant project, that project is behind schedule. We've been working with the contractor to revise that completion date, and we will be submitting that to DEQ. We expect the contractor will have to pay fines as included in our contract with them, and we may be required to pay penalties to ODEQ, but they will be offset by the penalties from the contractor. Next, I want to talk about the financial report for the second quarter of the fiscal year. This goes through December 31st, 2025. Excuse me. First, we have our historical sales tax collection graph. You can see where one for Coweta tax began, and it's ramped up from there. We go through these monthly fluctuations. It was actually pretty dramatic this year. We had a very large collection come in November from one customer that's fairly new, and there's not much known about them, so we're kind of hesitant to count on that revenue, but we'll see how that comes through in the next few months. Overall, sales tax revenue for fiscal year 26 to date is 8.1% above last year and 8.4% above our budget. We've also got a comparison to other surrounding entities. You can see Coweta's highlighted there. Through December, we've brought in about $4 million in sales tax compared to $3.8 million last year. Again, our sales tax revenues were up so far this year, and that accounts for the bulk of the general fund revenues. These sales taxes are remitted by the retailers to the Oklahoma Tax Commission, and then it's a few weeks later before we actually receive those revenues, so it does lag behind. Overall revenues are up by 9.3% over last year and exceeded our budget by 8.7%. So we're having a really good year so far. On the general fund expenditure side, we're 6% under budget and 23.2% over last year. That's mostly due to large projects that are underway and capital expenses. We also have obviously increases in salaries. And again, because the sales tax was higher, we have higher transfers resulting from those increased revenues. So that kind of skews the number as well. On the Public Works Authority, utilities so far are operating revenues are 6.1% over last year and 7.4%, 6.1% over budget and 7.4% over prior year. On the expenditure side, we're under budget by 24.3%, and that's mostly because of a capital project that's just underway. Well, as that project comes in, we'll be in line with the budget. We are 10.4% above last year's budget, again, a lot due to capital projects. On the debt tracker, we have four main debts in the Public Works Authority. That's for revenue bonds that were issued in 2016. They were issued in 2016, but a lot of that was from refunding from prior years. That balance is almost $18 million. And then we have two notes from the Oklahoma Water Resources Board for the wastewater project, and that totals about $16 million. And then the last one is a sales tax note that was taken out when the sales tax one for Coweta was passed in 2022, and that balance stands at a little over $10 million. In the governmental funds, we have three small loans. I believe all these will be, well, two of them will be paid off this year, this fiscal year, or this calendar year, and one still for next year. That's a very small balance for the general fund. I've got a summary here of all the projects that were approved in the one for Coweta funding. Unfortunately, the public safety buildings have taken up every bit of that money that we had. It's way above what we anticipated, but this is our one time to get those buildings the way we need them. And we felt it was important to put the emphasis on the public safety buildings. So where we are at right now is about 25 million of projects, and we don't have that revenue coming in yet. It will take some time to build those funds up to complete some of those projects that were originally discussed. We did have our groundbreaking ceremonies this month or last month on the police and fire station. We were excited about that. Here's a little picture of the 121st Street. We call it a bridge. It's actually just a crossing, but we've been working on demolishing that structure so we can be prepared to move forward as soon as we're ready with those utilities being relocated. And that's all I have on that report. I did have one more thing I wanted to add. We've been working with ODOT for several months to try to get the traffic signal on Highway 51 and 116th Street near RCB activated. Unfortunately, the developer who put the light in is responsible for that. He's not communicating with us, so I've asked ODOT to allow the city to take the project over, and I should be meeting with them next week to try to get a schedule for that. So hopefully we will see some progress on that soon. That's all I have for you.
Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. All right, we'll move down to item number 6, correspondence. We have a letter from the Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency, OHFA, notice of application for affordable housing tax credit development. I'll read the letter. Are you going to pull it up? Okay. So Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency, OHFA, is a public trust, the beneficiary of which is the state of Oklahoma. The mission of Oklahoma Housing Finance Agency is to provide affordable housing resources for residents of Oklahoma. Section 42 of the Internal Revenue Code, as amended, provides federal tax credits which may be claimed by owners and residential rental property used for affordable housing. Owners wishing to claim the low-income housing tax credit must apply to OHFA as the state's housing credit agency for an allocation of Oklahoma's tax credit authority. Pursuant of Section 42 MAI of the Code and OHFA's Affordable Tax Credit Program rules codified as Title 330, Chapter 36 of the Oklahoma Administrative Code, you are hereby notified that OHFA has received an application for an allocation of tax credits for the owner of the above referred development. A review of the file has not been completed at this time. This serves as a notice that the application has been received. Enclosed, you will find an application summary. OHFA staff will make a recommendation to the OHFA's Board of Trustees based on an evaluation of threshold and selection criteria. A reservation or allocation tax credit must be approved by the OHFA Board of Trustees. This application will be considered at the May 13th board meeting. A summary of the application is enclosed. The full application is on file in our office if you would like additional information. Written comments must be forwarded to the OHFA to the attention of Daryl Beavers, Housing Development Team Leader. All recommendations received will be provided to OHFA's Board of Trustees. If you have any questions, feel free to contact Mr. Beavers.
So basically, just to add to that, there's a developer that is building a low-income housing or planning to build a low-income housing unit along 51 in the Timber Ridge commercial subdivision. So this is just notifying us of that application.
Yep. Alrighty. We will move down to item number 7, presentations. Request from Alan Prather to address the council for accountability regarding mismanagement of personal information by the city of Coweta, the transfer of personal information to third parties, malicious intent by the city manager with regard to handling personal information, improprieties of the city manager regarding the data center, and the transparency of the city of Coweta. Mr. Prather?
Could you push the button what's red? There you go.
Hello. Okay, yeah, we're in business now. Before I get started, I'd like each of you to please pick up a pen and paper, write down one name, if you could do that. You don't have a pen and paper in your hand. That name is Karen Silkwood. If you're not familiar with Karen Silkwood and her story, you can research it later on sometime, and you can see the relevance of it. All right. It has been nothing but unfortunate to see what has been happening to Coweta over the last couple of years, or more pointedly, since we've gotten a new city manager. Among the things I've learned in the military is that there's this invisible thing referred to as command climate. Command climate is how the commander's intent, philosophy, influence, competence, and moral prudence is applied by the rank and file. The true significance of command climate is seldom, if ever, a part of daily dialogue, but its influence is quietly profound. Personal character traits and leadership styles subtly play a heavy hand in how events and even eras are remembered. Good command climate has inspired troops and coworkers to achieve greatness, such as Eisenhower guiding D-Day, Lincoln holding a nation together, or just Elon Musk teaching dog commands to rockets, such as fetch, come back, and stand up. But be advised, bad command climate can have very undesirable and morally repugnant results, such as the rape of Nanking, or lying about the purpose of annexing real estate, or signing non-disclosure agreements, and jeopardizing the safety of at least one resident in Coweta, potentially with malicious intent. At a recent planning commission meeting, it was demonstrated Beale Infrastructure is not above recruiting union goons to come into our town and embarrass themselves, trying to tell us what what should be built and forever tolerated next door to our property so that they can have a gig job for a year or two. Of late, unethical bias has been abundantly demonstrated by Coweta's city manager and members of city council, even to the extent of going on social media, posting a pathetic and desperate attempt to seek justification to vote for what the overwhelming majority of Coweta residents absolutely do not want. On or about noon, December 26th of last year, I went to Coweta City Hall and filled out this form right here. This is a form people have to fill out to request information from the city. There's a spot on here for your name, for your address. There's a spot on here for your phone number with enough room for your wife's phone number because her ears hear phones better than mine. What's not on this form is any kind of consent to share that information with third parties, especially a data center construction company that has every reason not to like me very much. It's ironic that in recent city council meetings discussed the topic of firearms for the security of city council members, while totally ignoring the question, who in the hell is going to protect citizens from Castine and Beale's union goons after they've been selectively sharing addresses? The command climate of this city council is lousy, and it shows. For example, right here is an email sent from Julie Castine to Lauren Harvey of Beale Infrastructure. And how does she refer to the people at Beale? Team, T-E-A-M. So there we have it. Ms. Castine is a member of the Beale team, apparently, while her paychecks funded by Coweta residents go unappreciated and taken for granted. But wait a minute. If our city manager's on Beale's team, it's very obvious who they're playing against, and it's the residents of Coweta who live here and plan to stay here. This city council needs to employ an attorney, preferably one with enough competency to be familiar with Robert's rules, and draft an ordinance forbidding disclosure without consent of residents' personal information to a third party, such as what happened here. I know I'm easy to find. Most everyone is these days with the interweb. However, what Julie Castine did was specifically identified a resident who had the nerve to ask how many generators the proposed data center would have. She could not have more clearly spelled out which among the residents of Coweta are against their data center that inspires corrupt and malicious behavior. Here's the real kicker. After the trouble that I went to go to City Hall, fill out the form, get doxxed by the city manager, want to know the real kicker? My original question never got answered. That's right. Apparently, Julie Castine and Beal are afraid to answer the question of how many generators will the proposed data center have? So I did my own research and discovered that a 400 megawatt hyperscale data center requires between 130 to 200 big industrial-sized noisy generators. 130 to 200 industrial-sized generators. That's what Beal and Castine were afraid to disclose. 130, they wouldn't answer me that question. Here's your answer. I did the work for you. 130 to 200 big old industrial generators. They weren't just keeping that information from me. They were obviously wanting to keep this city council ignorant of how much noise pollution would really be pouring out of that place. That doesn't even touch upon how many cooling fans. Think noise. The command climate of this council is clearly in desperate need of change. I sincerely encourage the members of this council to look inwardly. Ask yourself, why or since when are you working to spite the will of the people in this town? The influence of Julie Castine has created atmospheric results that are dishonest, secretive, contemptible, criminal, and deep, deep in the realm of litigious vulnerability. You should ask yourself, if they didn't want to say how many generators the place would have, ask yourself what other information are they not volunteering? Even when asked. One more thing. Julie Castine, Naomi Hogue, Jeremy Barnett, you have all betrayed the trust of this town by signing NDAs and following the misguiding influence of our city manager. Each of you should be secure in the knowledge that we don't want you there anymore. Each of you deserve to know at meetings, when you sit up there in those chairs next to your toxic city manager, you are taking up space where a trustworthy, actual representative of Coweta should be.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Prather. All right, next up, we have a request from Darren Blanchard to address the council and give a review of internal records for process. Do I need to go over these first?
There were public comments.
Oh, sorry about that.
So can I adjust the screen while public comments are going?
Sure, go ahead. So it looks like we have, Jimmy, do you want to speak after Darren, or do you want to go ahead and speak now?
Speak after Alan and also again after.
Okay, all right, well, feel free, come forward.
My name is Jimmy Rothrock, and I live at 17098 South 353rd. In light of these very serious allegations, Julie Castine should be immediately terminated. all governments have both a legal and ethical responsibility to ensure private citizens' personal information is only used for the purposes authorized by the state statutes. Any purpose outside of the authorized use enacted by law is more than a violation of a private citizen's privacy. It's a violation of the government agency's public duties and public trust. Julie Castine misused private information of a citizen for the use of a developer, serving no public interest of her office and enabling non-government persons the ability to harass and intimidate one of their citizens. What other use would they require that information? This has the appearance of an enemies list. Citizens have every right to petition their government without threat or of reprisal, without directly or indirectly through others outside of the government. Furthermore, Darren last month laid out several actions by you that are not consistent with Oklahoma laws regarding open meetings. These things are being turned over to the Attorney General's office. The best thing you can do for Coweta at this point is just go ahead and retire and hope that nothing comes of these alleged violations.
Yeah, mostly what I have to say follows up beyond.
Doug Longnecker, 23580 East 131st Street. So Alan used the term, I think, command, what do you say, command climate in corporate world, that is corporate culture. A few things I have to do to address here on the corporate culture of Blue Owl Beal. But first, when he is talking about 130 generators, he's talking about 130 generators. It takes about 1,200 horsepower to produce 1 megawatt. It's a 400 megawatt unit. If anybody has stood beside a semi truck that is throttled up producing horsepower, that's 400 horsepower. We're talking about 1,200 horsepower per megawatt. That is a huge amount of noise. There is no containing that noise. That's why they need an exemption anytime the power's out. That noise is going to be heard downtown. That noise is going to be heard to the casino. There is no doubt about that. If anybody has ever dealt with generators, you know what a 1 megawatt generator sounds like. It is deafening. All right, that was enough of that. Let's go to Blue Owl. Sometime early 2025, private credit market started showing cracks. August 2025, private credit market convinced our president, who I did vote for, that we need to have the democratizing access to alternative assets for 401k investors. That provided some relief. And what that was an executive order that allows your 401k to invest into private credit that is neither banking regulated nor SEC regulated like a publicly traded company is. So that provided some relief to Blue Owl. And you guys do know who Blue Owl is, right? You know that Beal is just a small piece of Blue Owl. But this corporate culture goes throughout their company. So even with being propped up with our private retirement funds, Blue Owl stock has lost 48% of its value over the last year. As of today, it's down to 1068. February of 2026, Blue Owl has completely restricted all private investors from removing money. Does it sound like a sound company? So late February 2026, February 28th, I believe it was, the February 28th, Thursday, they secured 4 municipal pension funds out of California. They convinced people like Julie to invest the municipal pension funds into Blue Owl. That'll keep them propped up for a little bit longer. Just one of Blue Owl and Meta's deals, I think it's the one in Louisiana, is being investigated for $27 billion of off-balance sheet debt. Is that my time? No. Oh, man, I'm only halfway through. You kicking me out? I'm halfway through.
Don't line up.
How many minutes?
3 minutes.
I'll give him my time. He can take my
You can
slot.
finish if you want.
I'm not a great reader. I'll let you read for me.
It's up to you guys. Okay. 3 more? I don't need 3 more. So we got $27 billion worth of off-balance sheet debt getting investigated. Just one of Blue Owl's deals. Just one of them. Does everybody here remember Enron? Does anybody remember Enron? I got a guy thought he schooled me about Enron back in 2000 when I worked for PSO and we were getting bought out. Anyways, Enron in the late 90s, Enron started transferring assets from Enron to Enron Oil and Gas. Do you guys know that? So we transferred billions of dollars of assets to Enron Oil and Gas. These were purchased and financed very much the same way that Blue Owl and Meta are purchasing and financing these data centers. It's all off balance sheet. Your 401ks are getting smoked if you got any money in it. And if you are not controlling it, you have money in it. Enron Oil and Gas is still in business. They're EOG. They do great. Much the same shareholders that were at the top of the food chain at Enron they're still banking money all day, every day. So whatever use agreement is made through a PUD or whatever taxing agreement we make through a pilot, a TIF, you guys aren't getting any money. When this thing goes bankrupt, you're going to have a untaxed piece of real estate. You guys aren't getting any money. Whatever they promise you, you're getting nothing. This is their culture. This is the culture of the same. There are some of the same players in this that were in North American Galvanizing. We're in Enron. There are some of the same players that played AT&T Wireless. If you guys don't know how those games played out, they all played out like this. As citizens, we're going to bear the brunt of putting this thing together. We're going to handle the noise. We're going to handle all of the liabilities, and all of the profits are going to get privatized. And no, you guys aren't getting any tax money. Whatever they lie to you might work for a year, 2 years, but you're not getting any tax money. It's going to be a waste of time, life force. We're not even going to get a bypass built to 51B. Thank you.
Right. Jackie, what were you wanting to speak on?
I can speak after.
Darren,
That works.
whichever. If you want to speak now, feel free. Sorry, Darren.
Sorry, Darren. Thank you. I won't charge you for printing. Good evening. As most or some of you know, I am a moderator on both Chit Chat and the Say No Facebook page. One of the things that we have, even though I personally disagree with it, is anonymous posting. I believe if you have an opinion or a thought or an argument, you should own it. That being said, it's there for a reason. And because I agreed to be a moderator, regardless of how I personally feel about the rule, I make sure that I never intentionally out someone who has chosen to be anonymous. And I take it seriously. It was recently brought to my attention that someone on one of the pages was outed. And even though I didn't do it, I sincerely apologized. Since we, the Say No side, were recently and very publicly accused of being bullies by Mr. Barnett and not letting the other side speak, I wanted to address that tonight. We have anonymous posters in the Say No group because, and yes, I have been told this more than once, they have to do business with the city of Coweta, and they rely on being in the city's good graces, and therefore they did not want to publicly come out against Project Atlas because they were worried how it would affect their business that they do with the city, not the citizens, but that they do with the city. And I respect that. I have tried my best to keep those names private because that's what you do. Even if you don't agree with someone's point of view, you keep them anonymous if by outing them, you put them in danger, whether physically or mentally. I don't want someone worrying about their livelihood because I outed them to the city of Coweta. Now, when we talk about one side versus the other and who the bully is, let's not forget that not once have you seen a post from our side that says, we only want you to comment if you're on our side. Not once. Let's at least be honest about which side is actively trying to silence the other. I believe that's called projection. I don't want to worry about my safety or the safety of my family because someone thought it was okay to give out our personal information to a company that so obviously has no problem. May I have 1 minute? Actually trying to intimidate citizens who disagree with them. There are plenty of people in town I disagree with, but at the end of the day, I would stand up for any one of them and protect their right to disagree with me. What I do care about is that I can sleep at night, knowing that I'm doing everything I can to protect those people who, for whatever reason, do not want the other side to know exactly where to find them. And I expect that same courtesy. I will not go looking for a fight. But if you give them a reason to bring it to my door, I am ready. Just like this entire debacle of Project Atlas. As I said before, we were the quiet ones, and we will not be bullied under the guise of speak only when spoken to and only on your own Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie.
May I ask you a question? Mutual respect, we're not outing. That is hard. I don't know if we'll ever find out, but the things you care about and what you're being told, I'm being told the same things, and I don't want to out those people. There's a lot of trust that we have to have with each other. The part that concerns me is how our community, how we just turn to anger so quick. Sorry. I want us all to be able to come to the table and communicate respectfully with each other. Social media is challenging to manage on my
On a good
part.
day.
Would you agree? Yeah. I apologize if it seems like I'm trying to silence somebody, but during those moments, whenever someone in our position wants to speak to a certain group, we get overwhelmed with comments from other people. It is challenging, almost impossible to handle. I apologize if it seems like I'm trying to silence anybody, but during that time, I believe you may have seen I was on the Say No social media page, engaging with everybody there. I did not engage with anybody who said they did support this project. Do you have any specific questions for me?
No, my specific, I really said what I needed to say. My specific point was, we have at last count over 2,200 people on the Say No page. I approve posts daily for people who are in favor of it and who are against it. I moderate comments daily from people who are on both sides. So for you specifically to go as a city council representative on the Chit Chat page, where we have welcomed everybody to the Say No page, good, bad, or indifferent, and the only time I delete a comment is when it's vulgar or specifically to a person as opposed to a position. But for you personally to go on the Chit Chat page and say, I only want to hear from people who are for this, does that not strike you as intimidation for the people who are against it? Because I guarantee you that on our page, and please correct me if I'm wrong and I will delete it, not once have we said, we only want to hear from people who agree with us. So whatever side you're on, my point was, you cannot on a public page, apparently you can because you did, you should not try and silence one side or the other just because you're trying to hear. I've said before, we are happy to have a debate, to have a disagreement. Yes, there are fringe people in both groups that are a little bit out there, and I can't speak to all of them. Just like I'm not going to condemn one or two city council members based on one or two that I may not agree with. So we ask the same of you. Yes, there are people in our group who, probably say some things they shouldn't. But at the end of the day, we still want the other side to be able to speak. And that's what we felt you were not doing by telling the entirety of the 25,000 people on Chit Chat that you only wanted to hear from the ones that agreed with you, or rather that were for it. So that was the problem we had, and that is what triggered tonight for me.
Understood.
Do you
Thank-
have any other questions for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
I want to say thank you for speaking and coming up here to us. I do respect you and your opinion and appreciate everything you have
Thank
said.
you.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Any other, Josh, do you have any questions? Just saying.
No, I think maybe the delivery of the post was probably not the best. I think I understand what his intention was, and you and I have had the conversation. I know what his intention was. I know what his heart was. The delivery was not at all the best.
Probably could have been better.
It very well could have been better. The challenge is what he's trying to say is there is a page for that side. The objective he was trying to come across was the other side. The delivery was just not there at all. Correct. Exactly. And that's the exact
And I would
point.
just like to point out that I've
Mayor?
done the math.
Mayor,
Yes,
Can I-
thank you.
this topic is not on the agenda. And
Okay, to be fair, I was called back up.
I'm-
Okay. Thank you.
That is
Yeah.
more dialogue than you guys have had with us during this whole.
Amen.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Manager.
Did you need to introduce my
Yep. I had to turn my mic on. If you haven't noticed, we have new technology today.
mic test?
So there you go. All right. Request from Darren Blanchard to address council and give a review of internal records for Project Atlas via visual slides. Mr. Blanchard, you have 10 minutes.
Okay. Want to adjust the mic here? Yeah. Everyone hear me okay? Okay, here. Okay, excellent. Starting my time now, Mayor. Spoke to the chief before I came up to figure out the computer, asked him if he had plenty of 3-in-1 oil for his handcuffs. So, anyway, I just want to go over some findings I've had with some open records requests through the county and the city. Last month I was here to talk about, an NDA and some questions I had about it. And I have some more information. There's the city's website. As you scroll down, you can see the part that says click here to see one of the NDAs. And that takes you to the now infamous Julie Castine NDA. Here's that document. And you can see when you zoom in at the top, that's a mutual non-disclosure agreement between the city of Coweta and IPI partners. Now that's, of course, Bill Infrastructure. You can see there it's dated May 20th, 2024. And there's a theme that I'll show you in just a little bit. But there's another NDA with the IPI partners that never was released to the public despite multiple records requests. And you can see that was dated June 26, 2024. Okay, you can see the typewritten, credentials there. So that never was released. So that lends to an idea of non-compliance with the Open Records Act. As with the other, there's no signature from IPI partners. Thus, it's incomplete. I was here last month asking the whereabouts of the signed copy, and to my knowledge, we still do not have it. Okay, that speaks to non-compliance. So at the top of that is a mutual non-disclosure agreement. That's not a hard word to understand. I have an email chain dated May 20th, 2024, same date as that original NDA, noting Julie Castine's signed copy would be sent to IPI partners for a fully executed copy, quote unquote. IPI has a fully executed copy. Why does the city not have one? Is this willful neglect on behalf of your city manager? I contend it is, but that's just my opinion. What's not opinion is the city's continued standing of non-compliance with the Open Records Act. You can see here, that's the city of Claremore, the people that had me arrested. They have a fully executed copy. So this is proof that the document should be on file with the city. Again, I contend it's willful neglect, and the city fails to comply with the law. Now, at some point, we did receive some more NDAs. Technically, these are confidentiality agreements, but it's basically the same. They're secrecy documents. They were from the mayor and the vice mayor, and both dated September 3rd, 2025. The mayor and the vice mayor are also the city trustees, and to be clear, at least to my knowledge, the other city council members did not sign these documents. That's important. Here's why. There was communication from the Wagner County Economic Development Director, Darla Heller, to the Assistant District Attorney on September 2nd, asking for a review of the document signed the next day by at least 2 members of this board. I have that communication to present for the record. It's notable the ADA, who is law enforcement, mind you, said this exact document is illegal, saying it runs afoul of the Open Meetings Act and Open Records Act, laws meant to ensure the public's trust. He said the document was tailored for Delaware law, not Oklahoma, not compliant with the law, quote, end quote. He makes clear that any signature would be legally problematic. This should give you great pause moving any further with Project Atlas, given your name is affixed to a document prepared by Bill Infrastructure that is deemed illegal by your local law enforcement. The shenanigans don't stop there. This is a document I obtained from a confidential source, and if it's a proposal for water use, a term sheet with the Rural Water District. If you question the authenticity, then sue me. And in the discovery process, we can compare documents. Now, I recreated this, but to make it more legible, but I want you to take a look at the water capacity table. Oh, excuse me, let me go back. Okay. It's not coming up, I don't think. Okay. Anyway, the water capacity table, you can take my word for it, but the water demand for the construction aspect alone reads 400,000 gallons per day. That seems like a lot, and it is. The amount speaks to construction of an evaporative cooled system, as that design requires significantly more water for construction purposes, given there is more excavation work, mainly for the flow equalization basin, which is listed on the PUD. Just so we're clear, a flow equalization basin is what allows for 7.2 million gallons per day, but with a wastewater limitation of 2 million gallons per day. Hence the term, it equalizes the flow of the intake and the discharge, a flow equalization basin. That land use is exclusive to an evaporative cooled system, not air. Here's more proof. That's the infrastructure table. You'll see water distribution lines of 12-inch, 18-inch. That speaks to a very large volume of water. If that's not clear enough, look at the 1 million gallon water tank. If you're not using water to cool the internal components, then why do you need a 1 million gallon water storage tank? And why is Bill prepared to drop $15 million for water improvements if they're using air for cooling? I also flagged there's a couple of paragraphs in this document that Bill is seeking priority over existing customers, including residential customers. And there's reference to future expansion of Project Atlas, something they deny. Let their words do the talking. And this document is rather telling. It's here for the record. I'll give it to you. Bill claims, whether it's for Claremore or here in Coweta, there will not be any on-site energy generation, including the gas power plant for electric generation. I have proof in Claremore to show otherwise, and I have it here in Coweta. It's the document right here. This is a confidentiality agreement, or NDA, between Oklahoma Natural Gas and Bill Infrastructure. Oklahoma Natural Gas has been included in the communications. So if you believe a gas plant is not included with Project Atlas, I could probably sell you a ketchup popsicle if you're wearing white gloves. And I'm not that great of a salesman. I'm too honest. This is important because you're being sold on the idea the city will generate revenue from franchise fees from PSO. If they have their own on-site energy generation, you're not getting that projected revenue. because you're no longer acting as the toll booth collector for electricity to the data center. If I can see this, you know your city manager is aware. So why are you being misled? Why is the public being misled? This is heavy industrial use. Emails dated all the way back to 2024 reveal that city officials said the data center would not be consistent with a comprehensive plan. Specifically, Carolyn Back, who's no longer employed by the city, forecasting for that specific site only projects light and medium industrial. Project Atlas claims to be light industrial, but that's fake news. The communications reveal the developer wants building heights far greater than 40 feet, which is what the max amount allowed per code. It doesn't stop there. The intent carries all the way forward to the PUD. There was actually a mistake that was presented, which actually listed the building heights of 75 feet. They actually corrected that and amended it downward. So how do they get around that? Easy. Per Miss Back, they just rezone the land. Once the city council rezones the land, apply for a variance from the Board of Adjustments. That means you, city council, don't have a say in the building height. They will simply bypass you and your decision-making authority. I have that communication to present for the record. It's clear this is a heavy industrial application. Take that into consideration. Okay, I'm going to close with a couple of quotes. I've got 2 minutes left according to my time. I found this quote in an email from the aforementioned Darla Heller, the person at the county working hand in glove with Julie Castine. The date, October 28th, is relevant because that's when Bill had their wannabe information session at City Hall. What kind of message does this send? Sounds like to me, she's saying she doesn't want the people of Coweta to be informed, to be aware of what's about to take place in their community. Is this the same sentiment from you? I know that's the shared feeling from Bill, but what about the other city officials like your city manager who have been trying to force this on your people? Birds of a certain feather flock together. This quote here is from Will Rogers. Rogers County is named after his father, fitting because I'm on release from the Rogers County Jail. Oklahoma's favorite son said, good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. Well put, because you have a unique opportunity here to reestablish the public's trust. Bad judgment has been revealed, so let's correct it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but to me it's obvious. Your community has been misguided throughout this process, and it's been one lie after another. I have made that crystal clear, backed up by fact. I have all those records for the record. Where there is internal coordination, whether it's internal coordination, that's up to you, but you are dealing with a dishonest salesman. If this were a car salesman and you caught them in a lie, you're not buying that car, no matter the deal you think you're getting. The reason, what else are they lying about? That's the unknown that you don't want to answer 10 years down the road. Remember that when this sham company decides to present to their industrial park with a gas plant with 20 plus acres of lithium ion batteries with an evaporative cooling system that's using 5.4 million gallons of water per day during peak demand for cooling. I'll go over my time, but probably about 10 seconds. You have a responsibility afforded by the 10th Amendment of the United States Constitution. That's a duty to protect the public's health, safety, and general welfare. Now, do your job, represent the people of Coweta.
Thank you, Mr. Blanchard. Thank you, Mr. Blanchard. Jimmy, would you like to speak now?
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty.
So in light of that, this is aimed at Mr. Barnett and Mrs. Hoag. You guys signed what appears to be a non-legal contract. And so I'd like to remind you that the city does have a code of conduct for their city councilors. It's posted in the city code. So the 3 R's of the city government leadership are roles, responsibility, and respect. Come on, Jeremy. Your posts on social media are less than respectful. The same level of respect and consideration of differing opinions of view that is deemed appropriate for public discussions should be maintained in private conversations also. Demonstrating patience, showing empathy, listening attentively, modeling a professional manner, showing antagonism or hostility. Every time you say, oh, I was unopposed, haha, and I'm in here till 2029, haha. Yep, that's not antagonizing at all, is it? deliberately lying or misleading, speaking recklessly, stirring up bad feelings, divisiveness, acting in a self-righteous manner, respect one another as individuals, respect the validity of different opinions, respect the community that we serve. Will it destroy their trust in me? Is a question that you should ask before you post.
Mayor, I.
If I were
don't-
on the receiving end of my conduct, would I
Decker,
approve
just a minute, please. No,
and agree, or would I take offense?
the agenda item is regarding internal records of Project Atlas.
I'm getting
and-
there because they signed contracts about this and it all goes into the code
So you're going to connect
of
to that?
conduct.
Okay.
I'm almost done. I'll wrap it up here pretty quick. Do I question and confront different points of view within a constructive manner, or do I support others and show respect for their ideas? Mr. Barnett and Mrs. Hogue, in light of your recent social media post, demonstrate not just a bias, but violations of the code of conduct for city council members. In light of these comments, you should immediately recuse yourself, but at the very least, abstain from the vote. You violated the community's First Amendment right, whether willfully or unintentionally. That was the effect. Here are a few excerpts from the city code that I've already read to you. It would do you some good to refresh yourselves on these, everybody. You both signed illegal contracts.
Thank you, Mr. Rothrock. Doug, did you want to speak again?
No, that was it. You gave me 6 minutes.
All right. Make sure. Make sure. Didn't have anything else. All righty. Thank you for that. We'll move down to item number 8, consent. Make a motion to approve.
I second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett.
Yes.
I just lost track. Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Beath.
Yes.
Alrighty. Item number 9, we do not have any items to consider to be removed. We'll move down to item number 10, administration. Item number 1, FY 2026-2027 budget calendar and budget process. Discuss the FY 2026-2027 budget process and consider approval of the FY 26-27 budget calendar for the city of Coweta. Ms. Castine?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As some of you that have been here a few years know, we start the budget process normally in about January, and we're at the point now where we're preparing personal services budgets and expenditure budgets. Right now, we've come to a pretty good estimate of our revenues for FY 27. One of the things that we need to do is have approval of our budget calendar. It's not really required, but we appreciate the council looking at it and letting us know if there are any issues that they foresee. Probably the biggest date that affects the council is we have a budget workshop planned for Friday, April 24th. It's a little bit later than normal because of the Good Friday holiday falling on the week that we normally do that. And then I have a vacation planned after that. So April 24th is the big date for us to come together and discuss our priorities, look at capital projects that we may want to consider, and potentially go look at those out in the field. So be on the lookout for that agenda to come out. I also wanted to go through a little bit about the process itself. This will be kind of a quick overview that's not as detailed as which you'll see later, but we do have some new members on the board. As I said, we begin in January developing our revenue forecasts and establish our base budget. During this period we're in now, the department heads will be submitting their requests for capital projects, and also we'll be giving them their base budget to work from as well. We'll have the budget workshop, and then in early May, at the first meeting in May, the proposed budget will be submitted to the city council. We will also publish a notice of the public hearing in May, and then on the first meeting in June, we'll have that budget public hearing and hear public comments and hopefully adopt the budget. Just quickly, what we're looking at for our 27 revenues is just right even with our projections for the current year. It's actually on the sales tax 3.5% above our current projections based on what we're seeing happening out there. I tend to be more conservative in the past. I've always been very, very conservative on sales tax, but it's coming through so strong. I think it's okay to go ahead and make that projection. It will also end up 8.5% above the current budget. We're taking a more conservative approach to the use tax revenue budget. That's harder to predict. A lot of it's based on construction projects that are going on in town. And we're just going to kind of back off on that a little bit, but we still, based on the overall projections, we're looking at about $600,000 that we can use to allocate above what we have now. So our focus that I'm proposing is on additional staff and pay increases. We have ongoing issues with trying to get work done because we just don't have enough people to do it. And the reason we don't have enough people is because we don't have the funding for it. So this gives us an opportunity to add staff. We'll be discussing this with each department in a group meeting to prioritize which positions need to be added, and then we'll come to you with a recommendation. The other thing we have to be very aware of is these new buildings that are underway right now are going to come with an increased cost for operating. Right now, we have 2 very small facilities. We're going to be going to 2 very large facilities. We're going to have larger utility bills, things like that. So we have to keep that in mind because we do look forward, not just this current year that we're budgeting or the future year we're budgeting, but off into several years ahead because we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we've overspent and have to lay people off. I never want to have to do that. So that's something that we consider. We kind of looked at this earlier in the financial report, but here's the sales tax collection for the last 10 years or so. And it's broken down by the dedicated tax, which is what goes to one for Coweta projects, and the general fund tax in blue. So you can see it's been a steady rise, and the green line is where we're projecting for the total sales tax. Next, we've been looking over the last, 5 years on a 3% increase in our utility fees. We plan to suggest that again. It's very hard for us to keep up with the maintenance costs of our utilities, and the 3% rate would give us an additional $186,000 over our current year. That doesn't go very far, and that would also include wages for those people in those utility funds. So it's really important that we keep those rates. I know it's hard for people to accept that, but it's something that we just have to live with. For the average person, they'd be paying about $4.16 a month over what they're paying now. People that are using much higher consumption will be about $4.50, and then someone that's using just the minimal would see their bill go up by about $3.74. Just looking ahead on the capital improvement fund, which is where we fund all of our infrastructure projects, or most of them. What we're looking at for the current year is revenues coming into that fund of about $4.2 million. That includes the existing fund balance and the current expenditures. Just got a list there. I won't go through them all for you, but I just wanted to get down to the bottom is where we have the total project costs. And this puts us in that fund of just under $10,000 available. So it's going to be a very tight budget for capital costs next year. We've already projected out some of the things that we know we want to do, like replace police vehicles and equipment, and some other projects that you can see there, the storm sirens, things like that. So what's left of that funding is just not going to go very far. So I just want to keep everyone and have that in mind as we go forward. So we'll get into a lot more details over the next few weeks, but I just want to give you a quick overview of where we're at right now and go forward from there.
Thank you, Julie, for that.
I've got a question on the finances there. If we don't mind.
Can you make it quick? What you got? I know I'm going off track here, but
Well, I mean, it's obviously on the agenda. I was just curious if the yearly financial audit for last year has been done.
It's not complete yet. We have new auditors this year. Our previous auditors retired without notice.
Uh-huh.
And so we're behind schedule. It takes them extra time to learn our processes and things like that.
Is there a chance that the incompetent handling of that might cost the city some?
No.
I see. What about a part of Oklahoma law that says if a municipality does not file a copy of its audit or agreed upon procedures report as provided in section 17-105 of this title, the state auditor and inspector shall notify the Oklahoma Tax Commission, which shall withhold from the municipality its monthly allocations of gasoline taxes until notified by the Office of State Auditor and Inspector that the audit report has been filed. Now tell us again, would the
would-
incompetent handling of that cost us money perhaps?
No, they withhold the money, but they pay it when the audit is filed. So
So
we
the
will-
answer is yes.
the
it would
answer is
cost.
no, because we will receive the funds.
That's all I have.
Thank you. All right. We'll move down to item number 2, WSB Stormwater Services Contract in the amount of $49,000 to be paid from the Streets Department, account 10-5325-.015. Discussing and consider approval to enter into a professional services agreement with WSB LLC for $49,000 related to stormwater management services to be paid from account 01-5325.015. Edgar.
Hey, good
Yes.
afternoon, Mayor.
No.
We're basically just accepting the budget calendar. I don't think we've ever voted on that I recall. I don't know. Let's see, how was it listed? Yeah, I guess we do need to vote on that. Excuse me.
Hold on.
I'm holding.
All right. I make a motion to approve the budget calendar.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith,
Yes.
All right. Back to you. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for catching that, Josh. All right. Edgar, would you please discuss this item? number
Yes,
3?
absolutely, Mayor. Hello, Mayor, board members. So this item on the agenda is kind of picking up on something that had started the previous years with WSB. They're a consultant that they're used throughout all Oklahoma. They're probably the most prestigious ones we have here. I did reach out to NCOG and everybody else that's well aware of stormwater management, and they said that we're on the right route by getting their services. So we are required to have an MS4 program to manage all stormwaters, and they're the ones that will help us get on top of it. And also 2026, there's changes that are going to go with MS4 that we're still not aware of what's going to happen, but WSB will be the one guiding us through it. There was a audit last year with it. And so with them being behind it last year, now I'm currently the stormwater manager, but they'll kind of pick up on where they left off and continue guiding us. And once we get rolling, they'll probably be out of contract and I'll continue doing it by myself. But we do have another stormwater specialist, which is in community development. So him and I will get with them. They'll identify outfalls, be out here anytime that we reach 25% of water or about a quarter of water. So any storm management will be kind of overseen by them. They'll bring their inspectors in, do all the testings on sites and outfalls, and monitor all the construction sites and oversee them as well, just to make sure that we are applying proper BMPs.
Any questions from the council? No question? Okay. I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith,
Yes.
Thank you, Edgar.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move down to item number 3, Resolution 2026-05 regarding budget amendments. Discuss and consider the approval of Resolution 2025-05, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Coweta adopting amendments to the annual appropriations for the budget of the City of Coweta, Oklahoma for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, appropriating $50,000 in general fund from unencumbered fund balances for stormwater consulting services and other miscellaneous stormwater expenditures.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is to address the item that Edgar just presented. The contract was for $49,000, but there will be additional costs related to testing. So we're asking for a $50,000 budget amendment in the Streets Department. I do want to also state that due to the growth of this program, we probably will ask for a new department to be added to the Public Works utility next year. I meant to mention that in the budget process, that would actually have Stormwater as a separate department. But for now, we're budgeting this under the Streets Department.
Any questions from the council regarding this item?
Is this up to 50,000 or is just the 50,000 flat?
Up to
50,000 flat.
Oh,
So 40,
Do the 49,000 before it?
that was for a contract. This is for the budget to pay for that contract.
Any questions? All right, I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Beath.
Yes.
Alrighty. We'll move down to item number 11, executive session. Consider a motion to vote to enter executive session to discuss the employment of City Manager Julie Castine, and specifically to permit the City Council to conduct the annual evaluations as provided for the City Manager's employment agreement and take appropriate action in open session regarding the employment and contract as allowed for under 25 OS 307B1. I make a motion to go into executive session.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Beath.
Yes.
You guys need to learn from the county commissioners. We get kicked out there. Oh, God, no. Don't start that. You know better.
I know exactly what you would do.
Hand casting while y'all are back there.
Chief, you're staying up here. Right now, as it sits, lot of stuff that's missing. They're also missing the information. Our backgrounds are many other things. I appreciate that.
They can't talk. He's speaking the truth. Yeah, as long as you don't block that when you come back. I'm gonna hit this because I have a lot here. I don't know what you guys are gonna do with that. I had this sign, we just haven't put them up yet. They came with the poles, I don't know where we put them. Your man, so they go on top there, and they need to have city council members and staff, city staff. I think that it may be back here.
See, it looks like this, but I don't know where the other piece is at. Just gotta find the other piece, then we can attach it to this one here. I wanted to say there was two of them. You can't, I only see one. You go talk to your man, he's down here right now. Down here at the end of the hall. I know he's down, he may know where it is. Huh? Yes. What is it? Oh, yeah. I'll go find out where the other, and then we'll get this fixed for the next meeting. Well, the next one won't be here though. We're gonna be down there. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go. I got a procedure tomorrow morning, so I gotta start preparing.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, sure.
We do want to touch on the restaurant.
Yeah, the mounds, man, yeah.
The camera is.
Fire her.
Is everybody back in here? Alrighty. I make a motion in executive session. Exit the executive session to discuss the possibility to take action on approve the amended and restated city manager employment contract. I make a motion to come out of executive session.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith.
Yes.
All right. Next is I make a motion to approve a 3% COLA increase and increase of vacation accrual to 280 hours. Oh, sorry, 3.5.
I second. Second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith.
Yes.
Alrighty. Item number 12, we have no new business. Item number 13, this meeting is adjourned. Hang out because we got 2 more meetings.
Naomi, can I have that paper?
Yes, you can, if you can read my chicken scratch. And let me know when you're ready for the next. Call to order the regular Coweta Public Works Authority meeting. Please hold your comments. Yep. All right. You ready? Roll call?
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Here.
Daniel Beatty,
Here.
Joshua Wilburn,
Here.
Donald Veith.
Here.
Item number 3, consent items. I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith.
Yes.
All right. We'll move down to item number 4. We have no items to be removed. We'll move down to item number 5, administration. The first item is bid award of 141st Street Lift Station project to Betco Inc. in the amount of $284,789, budgeted in account 04-5411-034. Discuss and consider action to award the bid to Betco Inc., the lowest responsible bidder, in the amount of $284,789 for the 141st Street Lift Station project budgeted in the Public Works Authority Fund, account number 04-5411.034, and direction to the trust manager to execute all necessary documents related to the project. Julie?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This item was budgeted in the current year due to the lift station at 141st and 267th failing. We've had persistent maintenance issues. We have people that have to go out daily monitoring the station, and our city engineer has recommended full reconstruction of the site. So we did go out for bids on January 28th. We opened 7 bids, on February 25th. And the lowest responsible bid was submitted by Betco in the amount of $784,789. That also includes a dedicated generator, which will make DEQ very happy. We also have, in addition to that, engineering services at about $40,000. This brings the total project cost well below the $450,000 that was budgeted. So we recommend approval.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
You said it's below the 450?
Yep.
Yes.
Any questions? Okay. I make a motion to approve.
A second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith.
Yes.
Alrighty, we'll move down to resolution 2026-06 regarding budget amendments, discussing and consider approval on the adoption of resolution 2026-06, a resolution of the trustees of the Coweta Public Works Authority adopting amendments to the annual revenues and appropriations for the budget of the Coweta Public Works Authority, Coweta, Oklahoma, for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, appropriating $14,980,547 from unencumbered fund balance for construction costs related to the police station and fire station number 1 projects in the 1% sales tax fund.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As you know, we opened bids last month and had a total of $17,112,334 for those two buildings. Plus, there's an additional $100,000 estimated for the communications tower. The budget at the time includes only the design costs since the construction costs were unknown. So we're requesting a budget amendment to include the full amount needed to complete the project.
Any questions from the council regarding this item? Okay. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith,
Yes.
Great. We'll move down to item number 3, trust manager employment agreement. Discuss and consider action to approve the amended and restated trust manager agreement. So as this stated in the
do you need that back?
in the item before, I make a motion to approve a 3.5 COLA increase and an increase of vacation accrual to 280 hours maximum.
Second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith,
Yes.
Alrighty. Item number 6, we have no new business. This meeting is adjourned. We have one more meeting. Alrighty. Call to order the Coweta Industrial Development Authority.
Naomi Hogue.
Roll call. You were ahead of me this time.
I'm ready.
Roll call.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes,
Jeremy Barnett,
I'm here.
Here.
Daniel Beatty,
Here.
Joshua Wilburn,
Here.
Donald Veith.
Here.
Item number 3, our consent items. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Veith,
Yes.
Alrighty. Item number 4, we have no items to be removed from consent. We'll move down to item number 5, 2026 Coweta Patriotic Festival. Approval of location and festival expenses up to $30,000 to be paid from account 40-5222-140 and 40-5325.140. Discuss and consider approval on the Patriotic Festival date and location and authorization for the trust manager to approve contracts related to the festival within the budget of $30,000. And we do have an item from Randy Scott to talk about the
Okay.
Patriotic Festival.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As you are probably aware, we have not been able to hold the festival in Coweta for the last 2 years
Yep.
due to the conflict at the school grounds. We have supported Haskell's Lake Fest celebration, but we really would like to bring this back to Coweta. We have been able to secure a site at the Roundup Club Arena that's close to Oneida Power. I'm not sure how many people are familiar with that. It is in the city limits. It's not in Broken Arrow as even they thought. So they do need to vote on an alternate date of June 27th. And we have a budget of $30,000 to cover the fireworks and any other items needed to hold the festival. We do have one community member, Randy Scott, that is capable of coordinating the event if we choose to go that route. He's already got an agreement with the arena to hold his fireworks display. So he makes good sense for him to take a look at that. And then we can also ask for any other bids from people in the community. Mr. Scott, could you come up and tell us your plans?
Yes, I don't know if I know all of y'all, most of you, but I've been in the fireworks.
Hit the button.
Push that button.
Thank you.
I'm not here for the data center. Anyway, I've been in the fireworks business for probably 60 years. Let's see, 57 years. Started selling when I was about 13. We've got about 35 locations around the Tulsa market, and we sell over into Missouri and Arkansas also. We import from China. It's where they all come from. But we have a database where if we do the show with the city of Coweta, that we would be bringing people in from Fort Gibson, Owasso, people that where some of our locations are. And we normally just invite our big spenders, but they'd be here to spend money to help the tax revenue, et cetera, et cetera. You mentioned bring it back to Coweta, and that's hometown. I've moved away 3 times, moved back 3 times. It's home, sweet home. So all of y'all live in the Coweta. The rodeo arena is in the city limits. It's up right across from the Elks Lodge, if you know where the Elks Lodge is, up at Oneida. I've got a 5-year contract with them to do my show there. So it'd be a great place. It's got seating, it's got good parking, and it's a place where the city could have it year after year after year versus moving it here and there and everywhere. So it's there. It's ready for y'all. It's ready for me. Bring it back to the hometown. The location will be good for many years. I do have some people with me. I got Robert. He's one of our shooters that shoots the shows for us. Brimley here. He's 13. He's in charge of our marketing. You got to have a 13-year-old in charge of marketing, or at least my cell phone. And Lori has worked for me several years in the office. And I don't know if I can say this, Lori, but Lori's got 23 or 24 grandkids. Is that right?
Oh,
24,
wow.
24 grandkids. And she does a summer camp called a grandma camp every year. And she had given me a 2-page list of games that we could have the kids do inside the rodeo arena to make it a longer event, not just a fireworks event. So we're ready to put on a good show. And all we need is, I'm not a speaker, so I'm probably done.
Thank you, Randy.
Any questions for me? This deal we handed out, this picture on the far right, we hire 25, 30 local kids every year. And so we really support the kids around. The middle picture is a show that was done in my front yard. We've done shows there for, golly, probably 30 years. We moved it out of Coweta because we outgrew it and moved to the big park where they're building the amphitheater. We did our show there 3 years. So we came back last year at the rodeo arena. And the other picture is another group of kids that helps us. Any questions?
Yeah, with the
Oh.
future growth, like my biggest thing is I want this to happen in Coweta. We got to think about future because there's going to be more and more people, and I know that will be in additional meetings, just logistics wise, and discussing that.
And the back page is just kind of a rule of thumb for different packages that we've done in the past, and depending on what your budget is, if you want your show, I could beat the $30,000 budget, no problem, and if you want your show to last a little bit longer or a little bit shorter, we can fix that too. All right.
Thank you, Randy.
All right.
Appreciate
Thank
it. Any questions from the council?
I have one. With the fireworks of the power plant, would that cause any sort of issues? I don't know. Maybe I'm asking the wrong person.
I'm sorry, did you say would it cause any issues?
Well, the fireworks being shot by the power plant.
He's done it there before, so I
Right.
assume there's no issue.
Yes, fire chief and fire marshal both came out. We did measurements. We shoot pro line. If you go with display shells, like you have done in the past at the school, you shoot a display shell. It's a 3-inch or 4-inch, and it'll. That's it. And then another one. Some of my pro line stuff will have 100 shots in it, and and it's just a lot prettier show. But they've measured the distance, and we even looked at hiring skydivers to jump in, but it's too close to there. We can't do that. But as far as fireworks, we're fine with the distance.
Brian, you confer that? You're good with it? No issues? Sorry, just have to ask.
Yes, I agree. The
Okay.
only limitations that you might impose would be the vegetation control.
Okay.
Because the Roundup Club, I don't know if the city would mow it or the Roundup Club would have to maintain, but if the vegetation gets too tall for surrounding areas as deemed by the fire marshal, we could just say we need it cut, and that reduces our risk.
Okay.
But other than that, just vegetation, that'd be our only worries on our side.
Randy, did you have something?
Last year, the rodeo, maintenance of the rodeo, they came and mowed it all 2 weeks before, and then we brought our zero turnout and mowed it again right before the show.
Okay. All right.
So we should.
Okay. Thank you. You're good.
So the other thing about this, doing it this way is it would take the burden off of our staff because Marcy used to be the one that coordinated the Patriotic Festival before it went away for a couple of years, and she can tell you how much time she spends on that. We would still need some support from police and fire, mostly for traffic control. But beyond that, there's a lot less stress on staff doing it this way.
Any other questions from the council?
Historically, when we held the Patriotic Festival here, historically, when it was here, what was the general cost each year that the city would have to pay?
Somewhere but about where we're talking about, between 25 and 30,000, I believe. I'd have to go back and double check that, but this is well within the budget that was already established in case we were able to bring it back.
Well, we aren't having to pay employee costs as well because there's
Right.
a lot of employee,
Yeah, in the
numerous
past,
amounts of staff that had to be
yes.
involved too.
We had Public Works involved, Marcy and a couple other people from City Hall were involved. There was a lot of staff that went into getting the event set up.
And I forgot to mention, by moving it, tons of people have plans on 4th of July and 3rd, and they're just busy doing other stuff. So the 27th is much better for the city, for the, people around Coweta. So we can do it on the 27th, no problem at all. And we got the staff to handle just about everything. We would like a little support from Mr. Peterson here and the fire department, traffic control, and I can't think of much else. Robert, we're good. We electronically shoot, so we're not down
We
there.
would supply a full detailed breakdown from permitting to, from, prep work ahead to completion at the end of the show. Exiting of,
Okay. And this item is just to consider and approve the festival date and location, correct?
Well, I'm also requesting authority to sign contracts up to that budget amount.
Okay.
So that we don't have to come back to vote on each
Okay.
contract. It saves time that way. So because we do need assurance that we'll have the fireworks for the show.
And in June, we'll be here before we know it. We're already
Right.
in March. So any questions from the council at this point?
Yeah, two more.
Okay, let's ask.
So is this typically just going to be a hosted by Mr. Scott, sponsored by the city of Coweta type of event, type of appearance?
It will be a city event performed by a contractor, either Mr. Scott or whoever else would bid on it and win. I don't know. There's not a lot of people that can do it, honestly. So I'm pretty comfortable with Mr. Scott handling it as long as there's someone else that comes in at a much reduced price or, whatever. But
We're a large enough company where we can do it. So we got enough people to do it. We're not a little, couple location, stands.
yeah, in the past, we've had to coordinate from lots of vendors from different areas, and this makes it a lot simpler if we can, especially supporting a local business is important too.
We'd take care of the food booths, all that sort of stuff also. Face painting, she's got a whole list of stuff that she wants to do. But we get several food booths out there where we hopefully wouldn't have a line from here to the police station. Sometimes the Patriotic Festival just wasn't enough food booths there. And boy, the line was so long and it was hot, people want snow cones.
Last question.
Go for it.
Since it's this amount of money, is this an item that should go through a bid process just to give it out to other?
No, it's considered contracted services. I had Patrick research that for me as well. And there's no actual bidding requirement for that level of expenditure. Did you have anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, I think in other situations that you don't have to go through a formal bidding process, but other communities do a open market search where you contact three vendors or, however many you want, and go that way as far as what's the best deal instead of going through the whole bid process. Somewhat competitive, but a little bit modified.
I don't have a problem with it being open bid or whatever. I do think it should be brought back to Coweta, not only the show, but a operator that lives in the city of Coweta, that has supported Coweta their entire life.
Thank you for that.
Would it need to be another agenda item to select that? I mean, I know this is for the spending power, but I mean, obviously we have one that showed up, but
Yeah,
we need to
Patrick, can you-
select.
I believe the action item
It's to authorize her to contract.
basically gives me the authority to do that.
To choose.
So I would be soliciting bids and based on that, whatever bids come back.
Selecting.
Yeah, making that selection.
Okay.
If you prefer to come back for another meeting, we can, but it does slow down the process. And I don't know if he's got to get fireworks on order or how that works, but
We order some special stuff for shows. We've already got a lot of that, but yes, there's some other special stuff that I want it to be the best show that we've ever done, because it's hometown, So we're going to bring in some other special stuff to make sure it's great.
Is there any reason we can't just lock it down now?
not really. But I mean, I would feel better giving someone else a chance if there's someone out there. I don't know. I know one person that is into fireworks. I don't know if he has the capability to do this kind of show, but I feel like we should at least contact him
Okay.
if nothing else.
Sure.
If you lock it down with someone else, are they going to have a place to do it though? Because I've got the rodeo arenas tied up for 5 years with some options.
That's true.
I've heard enough fireworks tonight. But that's up to y'all.
Any other questions, Don?
No, I just think it's important with the 250th anniversary of the country to actually do this back in town. That's where I'm at.
Yep. We definitely need it back here.
And do it right.
We're expecting a phenomenal year this year. I sold fireworks on the 100th anniversary, 1776 to 1976. And I sold fireworks back then when I was 20, because I'm 70 now. And it was a great year then. And 4th of July is on a Saturday this year. There's already people buying fireworks for block parties, backyard parties, and stuff like that. It's just going to be pretty good this year.
Any other questions from the council? All right. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Beath,
Yes.
All righty. Item number 2, trust manager employment agreement. Discuss and consider action to approve the amended and restated trust manager employment agreement. I make a motion to approve a 3.5% COLA increase with an increase of vacation accrual to 280 hours maximum.
Second.
Naomi Hogue,
Yes.
Jeremy Barnett,
Yes.
Daniel Beatty,
Yes.
Joshua Wilburn,
Yes.
Donald Beath,
Yes.
Item number 6, we have no new business. This meeting is adjourned. You all can go home tonight. Thank you for attending.
motion to approve 3.